All right, third time's the charm. And today I'm going to be trying something new at Everything Python. I'm going to be streaming what I'm learning about Open Telemetry. Why this, right? First of all, why the topic? Why is it interesting? Why is it interesting to me? I like all things observability and metrics, simply because it gives us an understanding of how a system is behaving when we measure something that matters, courtesy Jean Doerr. What sort of information does it give us, and how can we better our entire system as a result of understanding it in the way that it gives us some metrics that we are interested in, right? So that's what telemetry and observability is all about. And there are a lot of tools that have existed in the past, are relevant in the present, and will be developed in the future. Some of these you might have already heard of, like for example, Mixpanel was a tool that we've used back in the day. Then MLflow was very germane to classical machine learning, and now we have a whole host of them in the LLM world. LangFuse, then Langsmith, and so many more, right? So in the context of that, Open Telemetry is interesting, and one of the biggest tools that we use at work and in many companies out there is the Elastic stack, right? The ELK stack. So all of it runs on top of this framework called Open Telemetry, I've come to understand. But I've also understood that I don't understand a lot of it yet. So this entire series is hopefully going to be about that. And let me see, right? This is going to be me learning the way I learn. Basically browsing, talking with ChatGPT. I've also created a project for it and stuff. So let's see how this works. Best case scenario, you learn with me. Worst case, this is me learning. Okay, so first of all, in the OpenTelemetry docs, we have something called getting started. Select a role to get started. This is like a very choose your adventure kind of thing, right? So I'm going to try the dev role, but before that, should I try the demo? I'll try the demo. I'll just check it out on Docker and see how that works. So running the demo, Docker. So I need 6 GB of RAM for the application, 14 GB of disk space. All right, let me check it out. But do I already know what to expect? No, not yet. Okay, let's see. Let's do this. All right. What was the next step? cd this, make start, but I have a Docker, so Docker compose up. This is enable API observability driven testing. I won't do this just yet. Let's wait for this application to come up on Docker. Unable to get the image. Why is that? Let's see if it still exists, but maybe then I can just do the making start thing. Okay, this is better. Then I have to fix the other thing. This is pulling everything. And that one was just trying to get the latest payment slash JSON. Okay, let's see. This is basically setting up something of a sort of retail POS system. It seems to have front-end LLM, cart. These seem like new additions. Postgres, latest flag UI, latest currency, product reviews. This is a full-fledged application right here. Jaeger. All right. While this is doing that, let me just go through the rest of the documentation. Dev. So this is getting started. Code, you want to have your dependency element emit telemetry for you automatically. All right. What is Open Telemetry? How can I add instrumentation to my code base? I think the first thing to do would be to write something where I can instrument it. Let's look at this. Python install Open Telemetry. Okay, let's talk to with the Python and push marks using function. This one. Let me just do bulky and set up my own. Right, so just do. Be careful when you do this. Yes, all the files have been deleted. This is an empty folder right here now. Okay. All right, everything is gone. Let's set this small application up. I'm going to create a small virtual environment first. Okay, using Python 3.12.8. What all do I need? All of these. Let's do this. I'm using UV, so this should get installed pretty quickly. In the meantime, let's copy this application and then we'll look at what it does as well. Telemetry demo.py. Okay. Okay. So basically I just installed all the applications, all the dependencies, and then I've created a small vim telemetry demo.py and I've copied this particular code which does what. Let's look at the results and then see what it does. Okay, could not import app. That's because we named it something else. We also need to look at what's getting collected, so let's do that. So this is presumably pushing stuff. Status okay, latency 0.27, latency point, all right, max retries exceeded. What's going on? Let's see what this error is about. Why is there a I should also run a collector. Okay, let me start this. Then we look at the architecture. Okay, this is pulling the OpenTelemetry collector image, and this will serve as my OpenTelemetry collector, I guess. The first step is always a lot of haziness and non-understanding, at least the way I work with it, and then slowly there is the dawn of understanding and figuring out things and stuff. So let's see. I don't know what to expect just yet. I know that there is a collector that receives all of these metrics and then pushes them to ELK. This is not ELK, is it? Let's see. The logging exporter has been deprecated. Okay. So instead of logging, we use debug. Let's try it again. Let's stop this producer in the meantime. So this is a producer and that is a collector, which is the consumer, I guess. Okay, this is running now. You ready to produce? Okay, begin running and processing data. Application startup complete. Let's see now. Connection reset by peer. What is the problem? Another portion of the code is me and doing well concept like I'm a beginner, which I am. Yep, it's narrating. I could have used a different model. Okay, if my application is a black box, if something goes wrong, I need to understand the three pillars of observability. Traces, where did this request go? How long did each step take? And metrics and logs. Goes to a endpoint. So that is what traces tell us. Metric, what is being measured, right? So latency, performance of any kind, and then the raw logs. So these are the three cornerstones of what is being observed. It's used in the exporter. Where does the data go? An exporter ships your metric data somewhere. Here it's reader. How frequent is it sent? Using a periodic exporting metric reader. That's what the libraries from Hotel that this guy has used. Then the meter provider. This is what a metric. This is what the metric provider here is, and here it's just creating a sample set of metrics. How is it measuring it? Latency histogram, custom metrics, creating a counter of the demo request total. All right. Okay, so it's just setting up a request counter. Latency histogram is being generated. Okay. A meter is scoped, then there are three metrics. What the process does, it counts every incoming request, records how long it took, randomly fails it 20% of the time. Okay, so every time someone hits process, the request counter goes up by 1. Okay, got it. So let's see. Okay. So where are my metrics? It still says Connection aborted. But we at least understood what's going on. Let's stop this. Okay. Let's look at whether that container is running. It is running, but it's running on 4318. If you don't see the port mapping here, I see it though. Use both HTTP and gRPC receivers. All right. Okay. Instead of HTTP, now I'm using gRPC. Export OLTP metric local 437 minus 118. Alright, I'm going to keep it 4318 for now. Because this guy is collecting on 4318, so it doesn't make sense to send it on 4317. Let's see now. Application startup complete. Let's see if this works. Transient error code unavailable. Okay. Oops. Now the server is not yet cut. Okay. Okay, so I have it all up and running. The changes I had to make were that first of all, I had to expose the gRPC protocol to be collecting at localhost 4317, and I also had to tweak the publisher to be pushing on gRPC at 4317. So now if I look at my process API, hit this. First of all, here I see a $200 okay, and here the metrics are changing. They will be changing. 1 second. Where is the next call? Error. Why is this an error? Okay, now the metrics are 3 data points, 3. Process was 200. Okay, latency is 5.53, data points 3. There's a regular cadence at which this gets published, I guess. Okay, so now let's go one step further. All right, we've asked it quite a lot of questions. Now, what is the best way? The metrics are now showing up. Metrics are now showing up. Best way. What is the best way to visualize? Prometheus to make this to plastic is not a for LGTM looks good to me. Loki for logistics and Mimir for metrics. Okay, let's just do the Prometheus start. And Grafana exporter and a Grafana visualizer. Okay, so let's talk about both of these. What is the difference between Prometheus and what will so is Prometheus like last okay, let me store it in Prometheus for starters. Set my collector. Basically I have to set this up, the Prometheus and Grafana ports. Okay, add Prometheus data source pointing to this. Let's do this. First I have to add the Prometheus over here. So the collect pushes to Prometheus, and then Prometheus pushes it to Grafana, or Grafana picks it up from Prometheus by hooking it up there. That would be the typical architecture, I guess. Okay, let me tweak this. Right now there are no exporters. Now we are evolving this in. There are no ps minus a, too many. Okay, let me restart the collector. Give me the command to restart the collector, just in case I have to expose something else. Okay, I'll just say, since I know the name of the collector, I'll just say docker restart 44a1. This is the ID of the connector. Container docker ps. So this is not yet running. So I do have to change the exporter here as well. Yep, exporter should be Prometheus now, not debug. Whoops, there you go. Now we're getting somewhere. Got it. Okay, now that Prometheus is done, I have to start Grafana. Grafana will get pulled soon. Meanwhile, I have to stop this. Docker is getting pulled. Sorry, Grafana is getting pulled. So let us note down the architecture in the meantime. What does it look like now? So now we have a producer, which here is the server pushing the metrics or logging the metrics. Then there is an OTel collector which collects metrics in a particular format and additional metrics that I want to be logging. And finally, from the OTel collector, it goes to Prometheus, which is a time series database, and Grafana is observing all this, right? It's observing what Prometheus is gathering. So this is what the overall architecture looks like. Okay, cool. Let's see if Prometheus is done in the meantime. Sorry, Grafana, it's still pulling. My god, this is a big file. It's not that big, that's what she said. Whoops. Okay. All right, let's see how long this takes. It's going to take a few more minutes, and we have the architecture set. What is to be done after this? Open localhost 3000. Okay. After that, I have to add this data source. Then build dashboards with queries like these, because these are the metrics that I am tracking. Okay. I am having fun. This is my first stream session too, and I'm having a lot of fun. I know that no one's watching so far, but it's fine because already I've learned quite a bit in the process of setting this up and being live while doing it, because there is so much to learn and I've not had a way to sit and focus and like put all of this out there. And this is sort of almost forcing me to do it, and I'm loving it. Is this still loading? Should probably change my Wi-Fi. Not at this point, not yet. So Grafana is pulled and my Elastic container is still running, I think. Let's see. Both of them should be running now. Both my Prometheus and my Grafana containers are both running. Let's see what shows up on localhost 3000. Ta-da-da-da. Ta-da-da-da. This is weird. I'm just logging in. I don't even know what my password is. Invalid username and password. That tracks. What should be my username and password? I'm not sure. How do I know this? What will my Grafana username and password be? It's admin and admin, guys know. Admin and admin. Logging in. It's doing some work now. Whoa. New password. I should probably set a new password. Admin 1234. All right. Very secure. Top of the line security right here. I really like this icon. It makes me think of Naruto. Naruto's hair. No. Now I have to set the Prometheus URL. What do I set it to? This is what I have to set the Prometheus data source to. Checking completed steps. It's probably going to ask me to add the first data source. Great. Prometheus. Excellent. Oh, Elastic could also have been one of the sources. All right. Great. No authentication. Skip everything. Save and test. Damn it. This failed. Should I just call it localhost or 0.0.0.0? Let's see. Failed. The host. Oh wait, no, this also failed. Let me go back to the original one. Yeah, this is not working. But my Prometheus is oh, whoops. I see. That makes sense. Should have set up a Prometheus image as well. Now this is going to pull up Prometheus. Why is this 8889 but that's 9090? I understand. Why did you not tell me start Prometheus as well earlier? While setting up the graphical interface, you didn't tell me about Prometheus setup. You're right, that's a good catch. No mistakes. Thanks, I guess. Let me finish the Prometheus poll and come back. Okay, so now I have all of my containers running fine, Prometheus, Grafana, and the OTel collector, and metrics are getting streamed to Prometheus as well. Let's try Grafana once more now. Localhost, set the data source to be Prometheus and save and test. Save and test. There was an error returning the Prometheus API. Querying. Okay. Got it. All right. Yes, now I can build a dashboard. Let me build a dashboard. I have metrics to have two metrics. Pick from various which get up in the collector. Now show the values or not. But slow because of this. Running now. I think there was a bit of burden on the server. It's taken a toll overall. Okay. Whew. System's going through a bit of load today, but we're back now, and let me create a new dashboard, add a new visualization. Prometheus is my source. The metric I want needs to be one of the two choices that comes up here. Okay, a whole bunch of them. Some of them are system level metrics, and let's look at the metrics I'm tracking. Scrape samples, no. What are my metrics? Let me look at the code. Request counter, this is one of my metrics. Let's see if that shows up. All right, and then yeah, let's add this. Time series. Okay, maybe I need some help here. How do I configure my dashboard for it's called demo request total. Rate of demo request. This is working. Time series. There's no data. There are no such metrics. Even Prometheus has a UI. That is so cool. This query returned no data. Okay. No data. All right. Still no data. Okay. Okay, I'll figure this out tomorrow. But I think what I've done to summarize is a good first step, right? And what I've done is basically understood that you have to first set up the different components, right? There has to be a producer, there has to be a collector, hotel collector, and then there has to be something that processes the metrics, something like an Elastic or Prometheus. Then there is a dashboard that can help you visualize it. In the middle there is a logging component as well, which we did not have in this particular setup so far. But yeah, the Grafana part hasn't worked out yet, but the rest of it is working, and I think that is good enough for today. So yeah, I had a lot of fun learning this. This is probably the most focused I've been in a while, and if you've followed along so far, thank you. See you in the next one.